yeah, baby. Feel it in your soul.
Notes while I take totes of the marijuana smoke. Throw you in a choke, gun smoke. Biggie smokes for mayor, the rack slayer, the hooker layer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the premier Dolphins show on the internet today. Inside Leverage. I am Coach, your host. I am joined by the boy, Fizz Mechanic, Wally Wonka, Tua Messi Vailoa, and we're here for your listening and viewing pleasure.
Man, listen, we're back. I was kind of like focused on the show
man.
Stuff like that, but this.
How we doing, man? How we feeling, bro? How we feeling?
Good, man. We beat, man. Don't let me get started.
I know you like that whole Led Zeppelin Biggie vibe that I just cooked up for you guys.
Yeah, man. Took me for a little loop. Got me kind of like, he threw me off. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I know you did.
But man, I feel good, man. I feel good. If Oos is back, he showed that he's really the real MVP. So we're gonna discuss a few other subjects and stuff like that. But I feel really good, man. I feel comfortable. Hopefully we get good news about other players making a comeback and contributing to the team for we get this win streak starting.
Yeah, man. So Junior, you feeling good over there, bro? I saw you vibing.
I'm feeling good. Still a little disappointed about Sunday, how close the game was. But, there's always optimism that I'm always looking for. And I think kind of reflecting on Sunday and now today on a Tuesday, I still think we still have a chance. I still believe we ain't done. It's not over. So, yeah, man, I'm feeling good, man. I had a good day, man. I'm with the family. I'm with my friend's family. Everything is all good. Blessed.
So listen, on that note, let's just jump right into it. What are you guys' thoughts in the game, man? I'll just go around the room and, just a brief. I know we spoke about some stuff yesterday on our podcast. Make sure everybody out there, subscribe and listen to the boys. The podcast is really insightful. It's really good. It's unedited, uncensored, the whole deal. We give our thoughts and our feelings on basically on the team and everything that's going around the team. But on the thoughts on the game, let's start with Junior, man. Tell me what you thought about what happened.
Well, overall, I know we discussed about it on the last podcast, so I encourage everyone to listen in. I think overall, we all see that the margin of error is so important to minimize, especially now heading to this game with the Bills. But I felt like a good team in Cardinals, we couldn't make mistakes. I felt overall the offense was really good run. Little mix with run and pass. It got a little too pass happy from what I expected, but in the end, I think the game plan overall for offense was good. Defense, they did their thing in the first half. I don't know what happened in the second half, but it goes to show that there are some pieces that we truly missed that it was needed for this game, especially in crucial moments. So that's where I'm at. Oh, also, love Malik Washington. I think he can be a key difference moving forward through this season. Possibly could even save us. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Wally. I know you got some stuff to say.
I like what I saw, man. If you want to go on this playoff run or season-saving run, you got to get the L's out the way. And the ones that are less painful for basically our journey, because the NFC doesn't have that much effect. I mean, it is about a win and loss record at the end of the day. But if your AFC record is intact, you have a higher chance of your NFC record being intact. In contrast, so if you want to lose that game and look good, I thought the offense looked really good. There was plays that it's. Some plays could have be had, but it's not a perfect world. But overall, it looked well. Weaver had his first bad game. His coaching, I think he had what we will call a Mike McDaniel to a moment. He won with Cam Smith. He wanted the world to see that Cam Smith is his dog, because I feel he has a little connection with Cam Smith. And it kind of did disservice to what was happening and all that good stuff. I think Cam Smith had a overall up and down game. The second half he was exposed a little bit too much of Marvin Harrison, which happens to be one of the great young talents in the league right now as a rookie. He's a very up and coming, very dangerous target. He's probably going to end up being top 5 wide receiver in the league. So you can't do that to Cam Smith, especially at his first game back. He let the tight ends just eat. McBride had 100 yards. He had 10 catches, I believe, and stuff like that. So I think Weaver had his first bad game, and he could rectify, I believe in him. So hopefully, and what he has to, because you're facing a similar attackable offense, a big play wide receiver with Keon Coleman, and they added what's his man's name? Booker. It's not Booker. What's homie's name from Alabama? Like he was playing with Cleveland right now.
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. They just added Amari Cooper. They have Kincaid. They have Knox. They have James Cook. You know what I mean? They have Josh Allen. So he got to bring his A game again.
Talk to me, Chad. What do you think?
I mean, I've been saying this all week, and I've been hard on Mike this season. Overall, I think there's been a lot of questionable decisions, personnel wise, on the field, and everything in between. But last week, for some reason, when the game ended and the Cardinals kicked that field goal, I wasn't even upset. And I was just thinking to myself, and I just had a moment of clarity, what I saw from Mike, I was like, 9 times out of 10, we win that game. But that same exact game plan, the way it went, I think there were some key drops from Jonnu, Jalen Waddle, that really hurt us. And others. There were some other ones as well. The mishandled snaps, one resulted in points. I felt like that one was the biggest play of the game and ended up being in the Cardinals' favor. It was a huge momentum swing. At that point, I felt like they were fighting back, but they were still kind of, behind the season. You know what I'm saying? So, look, going into this week, I have more optimism than I've had all season. And this is probably our toughest game on the schedule, period, through all 17 games, beginning to end, at Buffalo, division rival, huge game, and I'm feeling good about it, bro. I feel great about it.
So I don't want to interrupt you. I know we're gonna get into that later on in the show, so I don't want to give out too much, or give out too many nuggets. But what did you see specifically that made you feel, I guess, not so disappointed with that loss? Going crazy. Go ahead.
Outside of the lack of usage of Jalen Wright, like, I felt like it was A1. The way that Jonnu was being used, the way that Achane was being used, like, Achane's usage was perfect. Like the high-low concepts that he had for Tua, the half-field reads, bro, there was a lot of easy stuff underneath, and the screen calls were so timely last week. I felt like all the screens were perfectly. That one he called to Achane down in the red zone, bro. Like, there was some Mike was calling some great plays last week. He really was in his bag. And I think he's been in his bag throughout the course of the season, but that he's been given the wrong bag to the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? You don't give.
Hold on. You gotta elaborate. You gotta elaborate. Like you gotta. Hold on. You can't just drop that bar. Not, you know what I mean. You can't. You know what I mean. You gotta know what you're talking about.
Listen, you don't give the Birkin to your daughter. The Birkin goes to wifey. Your daughter, you maybe get a Michael Kors, you know what I'm saying? Or, maybe a little North Face, and you do a little stuff like that, little spray ground, a little something, nothing.
You said maybe a little identity crisis.
You're trying to give her the Coach bag. You're trying to give her the Gucci bag, and she don't know what to do with that. She can't handle that. That's too much responsibility.
Okay,
you know what I mean? And that's what he was doing with Huntley and Tim Boyle and Skylar Thompson. You know what I mean? So, like, it's been there, and we said it was there, and we saw it this week. And I think that those opportunities weren't capitalized by the players. On that Jonnu Smith drop specifically, man, D Eskridge, it was a high-low concept. D Eskridge was right behind him, wide open. If anybody goes back and watch that play, D Eskridge was wide open. And I'm excited about him because I think he's going to have a big impact on this game, special team-wise. And, like, in the passing game, I think he can make some plays, bro.
I've seen him.
He's nice. He might – listen, this might sound crazy. He could end up being a bigger acquisition than OBJ when it's all said and done. We'll see.
He did show a lot, and what was it? Him that ran the
Yes.
kickoff return.
Yes.
Also, my apologies. I thought it was Malik. It was actually Eskridge. So that was a good outlook. And something
Malik did have a good punt return.
They both had one. It was a punt return. Malik had a good punt return, and Eskridge had a good kick return. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I think the special team's gonna. Yeah, for sure.
But listen, as Chad, to your point, I mean, right now OBJ is not giving you anything. I'm not trying to diminish what you said about Eskridge, which could come to fruition. But right now, OBJ is just a body. He's just a jag right now. I don't know what's going on. If they're just not looking for him, or like he's still trying to acclimate. I don't know. Tua doesn't trust him. I don't know.
Let me ask. I started to cut you off because I listened to your term.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
On the subject of OBJ, I think that third down fade route we caught for Tyreek. Yes, Tyreek. I'm not saying he doesn't make that catch. I'm not saying that Tyreek.
Yeah, he was held. He was held too.
I'm not saying that Tyreek is not a fade route. He was definitely held. But I'm gonna tell you something. If there's a reason why you brought OBJ over here, it's for that route. I'm not saying 10 times out of 10 times don't give it to Tyreek, but you brought OBJ here for that. I mean, OBJ against the third DB on a jump ball. Maybe the referee has a nostalgic pass interference call. I think that pass interference call would have got him called if it would have been OBJ. And I know Tyreek is a known commodity, but sometimes it's like Chad was saying earlier. You're giving the wrong backs to certain players. Tyreek, he's a dog. He's a 1-of-1. I guarantee you he will make that catch if given a chance, if not being held. But there's certain players that you could hold them and they still make that catch because that's what they do, because that's what they come here to do. The same way Tyreek makes a 5-and-out, a 60-yard gain, some players make a pass interference, a one-hand catch, a highlight. And that's what they're here for. So sometimes you gotta, you know what I mean? I think Mike gotta, as great as he's been calling in the past couple games, let some of these dogs eat the way they've always been fed. Don't feed me a soup with a fork. I eat it with a spoon, big dog.
And Wally, to add to your point, I think heading to this game, you gotta give some series, some plays to each and every of these options that you have. OBJ needs to be involved in this game. Jonnu needs to be involved in this game, as well as Tyreek and Waddle, and in the running backs as well. Everybody needs to be involved. You can give the ball to each and every one of them. It's just how you distribute everything. It could be 8-3, like Chad mentioned before about the runs to pass. It could be 8-3 for pass to run. It could be, you can deviate to kind of keep that defense guessing. But I think we need to involve a lot of our weapons that I think can take advantage of this game. And we didn't do that with OBJ. And OBJ is claiming that he was open a lot of times. So
he was.
Maybe that's something we need to look into this game to incorporate with Tyreek and Waddle. And I think
but look, that's their first game, dog. That's their first game. That's their actual first game together. That's OBJ's third game with the team overall. So I believe OBJ is going to be a major part in this playoff run. And we're going to be out here. Oh, he did that. Yes. But for now, you got to get the guys like Chaz mentioned, the Eskridge. You like, oh, a bigger part. The reason why he might be a bigger part, his route tree is shorter, but his bang on a
yak yard
bomb is crazy. I mean, on a post route that he's a fast kid. OBJ, that's what I'm saying. You throw the fade route to. And with that being said, involved players didn't gotta get his own chicken, man.
Man, I was trying to get in there with that one. Go ahead, Coach.
No, what I was gonna say, I was actually gonna bring that up, but this is the thing, and this is something that we get. I don't know if we get lost or maybe not really want to jump so deep into that, but from a coach's perspective, you have a set. Let's say I'm gonna give just to throw out numbers. I'm gonna give Raheem 15 touches, or whatever, Achane 12 touches, 11 touches, and Jalen Wright 7 touches, right?
Uh-huh.
But as the game goes on, things evolve. The game evolves. Okay. You give Achane X amount of touches, but you see he's getting hot, so now you start deviating from your plan and you start giving the hot hand a little more. I'm not saying not to involve this kid, but that's one reason. Another reason also is from as far as running the ball from a running back's perspective, a running back's responsibility is not just carrying the ball. You got blocking assignments. You might have, routes or whatever. We don't know what he's doing. That is not. I know that Mike admitted to the fact that he's got to get him more involved. But what is the reason? Why didn't he? Because coach, this is a trust thing.
No. I didn't say
it's before you move on, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's not a talent lacking thing because the kid is talented. What is it that he's doing that Mike is not trusting him?
I'm gonna disagree with the trust thing. I think
right
now, look, let's just look at that game, right? You can't say an instant in that game where a running play was a bad decision made with any of the running backs that were used in that game. You can't say you can't make that case. Even the Ingle situation. Did Jalen Wright reverse? You can't really say. So if we go back to the game prior to that, when he gave the ball to Ingle, it didn't make sense. But for a game like this, where Achane is running, he was running the ball well. He was seen the field well. He was being a weapon. I thought he was. I think at the beginning he was a little bit overused, but when he came back in the second half, Achane looked different in that first drive. Mostert was doing his thing, man. So I know you want to see Jalen Wright, but where do you take any of these two guys that are eating at the time? They were rolling. What do you take them out?
Keep the hot hand.
Yeah, what do you take them out?
But before Chad go, here's where I will say where I think we can all agree. If you're riding the hot hand, as Jalen Wright is still producing at 2 carries, give him the hot hand.
No, but we can't listen, Junior. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
you're a coach,
we cannot. No. I'm just saying we cannot keep using a sample size of 4 carries to say the guy's averaging 9 yards. You can't do that.
Well,
the guy's got 4. You can't do that. I get that. I get that. But let's talk about his production over an extended period of time. Because you can say, oh, this guy's caught 3 passes all year and he's averaging 20 yards a catch.
Go ahead, John.
Coach.
Go ahead, John. I don't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. You make a great point, right? And I think that's very fair to say. In the game in which Jalen Wright was forced into action, more so than any other this season, what was the result?
Positive gains. So you ride that.
Hold on.
If that wasn't a 4 or 5 carry sample size.
I'll give you that. But then what is the reason why that he's not doing that? He's not playing more.
I'll tell you the reason why. Mike
and I know what it is.
Has an alliance.
Oh, here we go.
Guys in the locker
room. No. Chad's right.
No.
Oh, he
Chad's right.
It's not like a favoritism type of thing.
No.
It's like a. There's a relationship.
Bro, think about it. Think about it in high school
level that's been established.
I've seen this in at high school level. I'm sorry, Chad. What I'm saying is I've seen this at the high school level where you have a senior that is not performing or is not performing during the season, and then you have a sophomore that is balling. First-hand experience, I've seen it, but the sophomore doesn't get an opportunity because that's a senior and he's been in the program for 4 years.
Dog.
So I think there's a little bit of that going on right now.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Mhm.
That is fine. And I would give you that with Jeff Wilson and Chris Brooks. I'll give you that. Hold on, no. But let's talk turkey. I asked the question earlier. Where were the carries that you weren't happy that Achane got or Mostert had that you would have given Jalen Wright? That's where I'm at. Like I think for like as he's in a stacked backfield, right? Believe it or not, our running backs room is kind of stacked. So what I will do, what Mike probably is trying to do every game, is figure out the vision. If Mostert is cooking like he was, you got to play him. If Achane is cooking, you got to play him, and you give Jalen Wright a little bit of that. But if someone's not playing, you insert Jalen Wright. That's when you can call him out on that. Go ahead, my bad, Chad.
Go ahead, Chad. Go ahead.
Raheem Mostert had 9 carries for 19 yards. Jalen Wright did that in 2.
I will say that he in key moments when we needed him, it made it work. And I know the stats show that, but
don't show that.
when he needed when they passed the ball to him, he got the first down. When they needed the short yardage, he got the first down. He got a good game. I know the stat says different, but they used him as a complementary back to Achane, who was beasting. And
what happened? But what happened when Jalen Wright got in the game? Was it not immediately an explosive run off the bat?
Facts. I agree.
He breaks tackle, explosive.
Right.
And then he got another. Then he had another tough run, hard-nosed run where he didn't left right.
Yeah.
It was straight north south, ugly run. He pushed the pile for 6 yards, and then he never touched the ball again.
Yeah, that's my issue. That's my issue.
So if we're gonna say there's a disconnect with Mike McDaniel, what in that 16-yard, what was it, a 12-yard run and the 6-yard run or whatever it was, and what in those 2 plays was negative enough for him not to get the ball again?
I don't find anything negative. What I'm trying to tell you is that our offensive game plan did not have holes in it. It could have been better, right? So going forward, you kind of have to run the kid more. You have the same set plays and run the kid. You run them like there was more plays out there to be had in running plays. What I would do is change their setup, like have them run in first and second down if it doesn't work, because as a third down option, Mostert becomes a very, very, very reliable pass option, a pass blocker. And I know Jalen Wright is a great blocker. We know that he's a really good blocker coming out of college. I'll give you the best blocker coming out of college. But Raheem has saved us plenty of times on third down. So that little trust factor, you kind of got to earn that. And Mostert has earned that from everybody.
Here's what I would say. And I feel like maybe I'm being unrealistic. I overthink shit. Excuse my French. I overthink things about how to approach the game. But in Chad and what he was saying about allowing a Wright to continue running the ball after 2 big gains, that can save what you have scripted already for that series. You can have a little sidebar and says, you know what? Let me take out this Jalen Wright runs or runs that I think he will feed on, and let him run it, and we can save those stack of plays that was for that series for another time. I don't know if that's because
the Cardinals never showed you they could stop it.
Right.
They never showed you they could stop them.
So I think McDaniel needs to consider having a small game plan for where if he's going to be a complimentary or a guy that's going to come in to give the guys rest, I have a little package for him right here, rating for him to run the ball. Hey, listen, I'm going to fight through this. I have something here that
this is ridiculous.
As an appetizer. Run through. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to use. We're going to run back to the original script plays that he has set up for each series. You know what I'm trying to say? Hey, listen, I'm just
Yo,
saying.
hear me out. I think Mike has realized it because, and this is how we pivot. Jeff Wilson's on the trading block, and it's allegedly, but from this is a tight knit team, right? You don't really hear those rumblings how you would, you know what I mean, like that. So let's just say, for this sake of argument, Jeff Wilson's it's on a trading block, right?
Right.
That gives you the kind of feeling that, yo, Mike sees the writing on the wall, like he got to play the kid, and I think you have to have a fourth quarter. It's time to shut this game down. Derrick Henry type drive, and you got to give it to the kid because there's not one running back in this backfield that's a true running back like the kid. There is plays that you were talking about getting stopped dead to right that he gained 6 yards that no one in this backfield could make. You at the end of the day, you're trying to win a game, and now every game has more feeling to it. I think we have to be tempered now because it's Buffalo. So you might you gotta be. It might be upsetting this game because Mike. I will hope Mike does not resort to his old self and not trust the kid this game. I think the kid will actually be a great impact against Buffalo because he's playing free. He just want to show out. You know,
Listen.
you ain't like Pacheco. You don't care about nothing.
When we were winning in Buffalo, and listen, in my golden era, and your golden era may be different because of my age difference. We're us up here, we're about around in the same ballpark. Outside
coach is,
but yeah, it's like when them and I know and hear me out. I'm not saying he's Ricky Williams, so don't. I'm not doing that.
Get on Ronnie Brown.
How important was Ricky Williams in the running game, just overall in general, and going there and winning in Buffalo? You know what I'm saying? Like
Jay Ajayi too.
Yeah, come on.
200. He put 200.
If you gotta go, if you want to go up there and beat them boys, you gotta run the football. Specifically, just for the sake of keeping Josh Allen and his opportunities to be limited, you gotta run the football.
But we're running the ball well.
Yeah,
so I'm
that is a formula. That is a formula.
Just for that, right? Like just for that sake, just if we can just say that.
Is there any questions that we're running the ball? Is there any questions that we're running the ball? Because we're running the ball.
That's why I'm not concerned because I feel like the running game is clicking. But
I feel like this is a better team.
But going back to what we're discussing with Jeff Wilson, you know what I mean? If guys like him, I would say for me, Chubb, possibly, depending on what they decide to do with him if he comes back in the next couple weeks. And I don't know what the decision will be with the Javon Holland going forward. I feel like he's a guy who could probably help you win now. So maybe there's not a real discussion in doing something with him. It would be preemptive if you don't plan on keeping him to try to get something now, opposing to have to wait a year after to recoup a comp pick. You could get something now instead of having to wait 2 years from now and getting something back if you don't plan to keep him. But if you plan to keep him and you have a good relationship there, there's some conversations. I think that's something they need to weigh. I'm not sure what the decision will be there or with Chubb. He's another guy who probably next year, I don't know if he'll still be here, depending on it. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's money and you got Chop and there's a lot of different factors there. So Chop isn't playing well enough for you to necessarily consider moving off of him. But there is a log jam there at the position, and you could decide to do something else with that money because of the construction of the roster. Tua's money is going to only get more substantial. You know what I mean? So there's some decisions there. And with Jeff Wilson, we talked about the log jam there at running back. So for me, those are three guys who could potentially, there could be some conversations about coming up at the trade deadline. Where you guys at with those kind of conversations?
Well, my question to you guys is: Are you guys think we're sellers or buyers?
I think we're buyers. No, we're not sellers. We're buyers. If we would have got it would have been a debacle against the Cardinals. If 2-0 would have looked crazy. Look at us. If you go back to what we've been talking about, our segment, we've been discussing, we haven't shown any fair weathery, or we're not talking about, oh, nah, we're not. Look at the tone. So imagine a team that's got their quarterback back, that could potentially get a Chubb back. You know what I mean? Could get a Craycraft back. You know what I mean? And that has established their running game, is finding an identity throughout this chaos. I don't think they'll be sellers. I think they'll be buyers. So to piggyback off what Chad is saying, Javon Holland's one of my favorite players. You know, I have a blind spot for Javon Holland. But if the uncertainty is that he's not going to be here going forward, and you could go ahead, I've argued with Chad to the cows come home about getting a tight end. I don't like the move, but hey, man, if you're gonna get me a weapon, you know I'm a weapons guy. Go ahead and get Javon Holland about the paint. But you see how much you missed him in the second half of that game, so that's my biggest concern. So to me, that is the only way. That's like unless you're sure that Chubb's gonna come back at an elite level, that you're gonna replace that with something else. That's my push button. With Chubb, I'll be comfortable trading him because the team has been able to play without him and weather the storm to this bad defensive game right now. And you see how fresh the team is when Tua's there. So Tua's only going to get better. The running game's only get better. So Chubb, the contract going forward, you don't know what it is. We drafted guys to kind of replace them. You have the same uncertainty with Jalen Phillips and stuff like that. You got to pay either or. That's a guy. Another guy that that hasn't done anything for the team is Ogba. If you could go ahead and trade Ogba and
don't let French hear you.
They could trade Ogba and get, because look, if you're getting Chubbs back, you're gonna have to cut somebody, right? You're gonna have to get somebody out the roster. Why not get rid of Ogba, because you're gonna get that potentially replaced, and hopefully Chubb and whomever is elevated again. Kamara elevated again, and so whatnot. You know what I mean? That's
or maybe you can go out and acquire another pass rusher.
Oh, maybe you
that's where I was going. That's something we need bad.
We're talking about. I thought we were talking about guys for us. If we're talking about a trade that we should, because if we're talking about a trade that we should make, is we should go trade for Myles Garrett
or Max Crosby or Harold Landry.
No,
one of those.
Well, I like Max Crosby, but go get Myles Garrett.
I mean, unless they're gonna give him a really premium. I saw their GM said they're not. I don't think they're gonna trade him. I don't know if that was something was said, but
they're in Cleveland.
Which team has
to
pay
Max Crosby.
Oh, Max
for the Raiders.
Yeah.
They're saying it.
Yeah, I heard it, but that's why I moved on to Myles Garrett, and it's more feasible.
I don't even know what that, because now it seems like Jameis Wilson, or whatever his name, Jameson, is giving them some type of life as they beat the Ravens.
But look, you got Zadarius Smith on the other side, who
I would love to
less
get
attractive
him.
Option, but probably be a lot cheaper to get. He would fit right in.
Yeah,
I know people are going to say he's older, but look what Calais Campbell's been able to do.
Exactly.
It would be a Melvin Ingram addition, in my opinion.
I agree.
What's homie from the Titans name?
Landry.
Yeah.
I think
the tier guys.
I think for sure we're buyers. And I think these last 2 weeks were kind of like a evaluation on what their approach might be. I don't know, barring if they do end up getting somebody this week. I think that they're going to it's going to be determined next week if they make a trade aggressively is by this game. What does this game?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So
right? I think it's contingent on that.
I said that. I said that.
But I've been said that. No. I've been said that.
There we go.
I've said that too.
Go ahead, French mechanic. Go ahead.
But okay.
Go ahead.
To end the point, I do think that win or lose, and we'll talk about that later. I think that will, depending how we win or how we lose, will determine what the move is. Because I do think they won't feel like it won't be over. It's going to be hard for sure, because now you're essentially 2 to 3 more games from being eliminated. So you want to try to kind of get aggressive and get things going. If you feel like your offense is doing well and you need something on the defense.
There are 2 other guys that 2 other names I do want to throw out there. They're a bit wild cards, so you gotta just walk with me a little bit. Chase Young would be one, and Baron Browning from the Broncos.
I would like
mean,
Baron Browning.
I'll take Baron
sure.
Browning. I
you,
don't know about
like
Chase Young.
those would be. They both have some little their things, but there's some production there. Chase Young, I mean, just a year ago was he had a very productive season not too long ago. The potential coming into the league, we know Greer. That's traditionally something he would go after, maybe to try to kick the trash can on, and it probably might not cost you too much. I'm just saying, if we can't get one of those guys, then maybe you could kick the can on something like that, a Baron Browning, something like that, Chase Young.
I'll spin a block on Zadarius Smith. I think that's a move. That's a move that makes sense. He could play similar to what Agbar's doing, but with a little bit more upside. He's a little bit more of a playmaker. Not even a little bit, a lot of bit of a playmaker for that position. That's something that I'll be really, really interested in. I wouldn't be mad at adding another safety. I think we're really, really thin at safety.
I don't feel they will because I think they feel guys. I feel like they have guys that they can play or play the safety role. I'm just saying.
We don't have a Buddha Baker in our roster, though. I'm sorry.
We don't.
We have Brandon Jones. We have Brandon Jones, but we let him walk for no reason. You know what I mean? I told you to keep Brandon Jones. I told you about Brandon Jones. I didn't want to listen.
He wasn't a fit, apparently.
What do you mean? He's a baller.
Where he wasn't a fit.
What about Deshaun Elliott, who came from the Ravens? I thought that would have been a seamless fit. He's actually balling over the Steelers.
He's balling.
He is
doing well. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the reality. You can't keep everybody. But
to go back a little bit, as far as what you were saying about who I think are the guys that I would move, I do think a likelihood Ogba could be moved. I don't know if Holland's going to be able to move because of the injury right now, and he's week to week. I'm not sure what it's going to look like. But guys like Ogba, who else?
You know what Javon Holland's gonna do? He's gonna play next game. You know what's gonna happen? He's gonna get injured next game.
Ugh.
You know what he's doing, Coach?
I don't know. Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson, of course. Sure. Him.
Don't
and
you
then
put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I can't even think. Oh, you think Easy E or any of the guys that haven't been getting production might get a chance that you can get a pick?
Might get released because
Easy's on the practice squad. You can't really do nothing with that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, I don't know that. I'm.
Coach? Now we got you here. When is the last week to get the PUP guys?
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, because they have to be activated. We got to find out with Chubb and Terrible win.
I mean, listen, I know that, like I said, with me, it'd be more a pass rush acquisition for me. But talking about that, now we pivot to the next topic here. We're talking about the AFC East standings. Junior, what did you find out? What do you have for us there on that?
Well, it looks like a lot of teams are just like a little below 500. A lot of opportunity to get into that last spot. Real quick, I saw a bunch of AFC guys. The Jets 2-6. You have the Titans. They're what 2-6, 1-6. Let me check. There's a bunch of teams, man. Like there's a lot of opportunity for us. If we do things right, we can still make it to the playoffs. So I don't know how y'all feel. I feel like we have a chance. I think there's a certain number to meet as far as win and loss total that we need that will certainly push us in, that'll give us a chance, and that will, pray to God that if one of the teams that we need to loses, that we will get in. So, yeah, man, I think we have a chance, man, based on the teams that the Raiders are 2-6, the Patriots 2-6, Jags are 2-6, the Browns are 2-6, the Jets 2-6, the Titans are 1-6. Is that true? They're 1-6. They only won one game. That's embarrassing.
Against us.
That's embarrassing. But those are just some. The Bengals are 3-5. That could be a wishy-wash for them because it's competitive and on their division. So we got plenty of opportunities to get ourselves in there. We just got to handle our business.
Yeah, just for really quick, just to kind of jump back just a bit. The for clarification with the IR after the first 5 weeks, I believe, players have 4 weeks to be.
Is it
Yeah.
for?
So
Yeah.
so it's after the first
Week
4 games.
9.
I'm sorry, I said it backwards. So after the first 4 games, teams have 5 weeks to allow the players to practice. Once they begin the practice, they have 21 days to activate the player or not. If they don't activate them, then they remain on the PUP
So week
for the rest
12.
of the season.
So week
So
12.
basically, yeah. So you have the first 4 games, and then you have
5.
5 weeks to start the practice.
So
So
that's
that's basically
9.
9, and then
Then
you
the
have
3
3
weeks.
weeks, right, by which you need to be activated.
Yeah.
So,
So
to Wally's point, by week 12. But yeah, but just wanted to get that clarification out there since we did touch on it. But going back real quick to what Junior was saying, right now, if you're looking at the AFC, you have the Chiefs and Texans at the top, right, at 7-0 and 6-2. You got the Steelers at 6-2 and the Bills at 6-2. Then you have the Broncos at 5-3. Realistically speaking, can they keep that up? We'll see, right? Like the Ravens at 5-3, that's probably a little bit more legitimate. Then you have the Chargers at 4-3. After that, you have the Colts at 4-4, Bengals at 3-5, and the Dolphins at 2-5. We're currently the 10 seed. The Bengals are at 9, the Colts are at 8 at 4 with the 4-4, and then you have the Chargers currently in the playoffs at 4-3. Like it's not out of realm of possibility that we could get back into the picture. I get it; it's been ugly, it's been terrible, but like we know what we can do against teams who aren't on our level. I think the questions would be the San Francisco, the Bills, the Houston, and possibly Green Bay games. Can you get 2 wins there? You know what I mean? Outside of that, like there's not a lot of things. What quarterback left on the schedule scares you? Like Omar Kelly, shout out to Omar. He's been saying this, and it's kind of true. Who's the scariest quarterback left on the schedule outside of Josh Allen? CJ Stroud,
Right.
would
Jordan
I
Love,
his number
and
1?
then what? I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't
That's a
fear the
double
Jets
by
or the
Mookie, by the way.
Patriots. The
I feel
Raiders.
I feel like we're our biggest enemy, man. Our biggest opponent right now.
How do you guys
Honestly,
For
feel
the past 2
about
weeks.
the Rams? How do you
Hold
guys feel
on.
about the
Yeah.
Rams?
I mean, Matt Stafford's cool, but I mean, is he gonna even be there? They're talking about trading him.
Look,
There
For
were
a
talks
while
that he
now.
could be traded to the Minnesota.
the way
So I
I
don't know how
see
real
it is
that is,
this.
but go ahead, Wally.
I feel like this is week 1 for us, right? Week 2 next week with Buffalo. Well, actually, week 1. That was the Cardinals was our preseason. This is week 1 for us.
Should have won that game.
And outside of like the teams that we have to like overtake, they have a bunch of big what ifs. If you're talking about the Colts, they just made a huge quarterback change. A huge quarterback change. The Bengals, Jamar Chase, Higgins, Boyd, the injury bug is killing them. To get Gesicki's not panning out. They've been losing games they're not supposed to be losing. There's a lot of teams that are facing parity, and then you have the NFL, which is any given Sunday. They could lose to anybody. They could lose to a Jaguar team that's hanging by a balance. So I think, just like Coach said, we're our own worst enemy, and if I believe we're only gonna get better. I saw plays, man. Nobody's talking about it, but no, like Tyreek, he took a guy out the club on a touchdown. Yeah,
On the
he
block.
took him out.
On the block.
Yeah, like bro, I can't wait till Craycraft is back for the screen game you were talking about being happy about. Imagine having Craycraft to block or Buda Baker instead of having to depend on the athleticism of Austin Jackson to block a Buda Baker. I mean,
Yep. and look and listen, we're at 10 right now, currently, right, as I stated. But behind us, you have 4, 2-6 teams in the Browns, the Raiders, the Jaguars, and the Patriots. We already beat 2 of those teams. We got to play the Patriots again, and we play the Browns and the Raiders. Like, there's really no threat of them necessarily passing us up. It's whether we can surpass the Bengals, the Colts, and the Chargers theoretically to get into the playoffs to have a shot. which is I think extremely doable. Like just having a just general conversation. Just listen. You can beat the Rams, the Raiders, Jets, Browns, Patriots. That's 6 wins.
Plus what we got right now in the gym.
2?
Yeah, that's
you feel
8.
me? So that's 8. You really just need to find 2 wins.
And you start with the Bills.
That's if you can get a win against the Bills, that puts you in a position where you're not you just need one. One outside of those games, which are extremely winnable. We know
it'll
what
be the
Dolphins,
Niners. It'll be the Niners and the Packers.
Niners, Houston, and the Packers.
Right.
Or I think the Rams game is winnable. That the Rams are kind of come on, like they can surprise some teams now. I'm not going to sleep on them.
Yeah, and another person. Speaking of the Rams, another person that might get traded is Cooper.
Well,
Cooper Kupp, yeah.
Their defense can be hacked. It's kind of like in the situation with the Cardinals. Their offense is good. They have a good running back. They have good receivers, but their defense will give you opportunity to score and match their offense. It's just a matter of who gets the ball last or who gets the stop, right? So you can compete with the Rams next week on Monday. Now it's just about just taking care of business on this coming Sunday.
One game at a time, bro.
Yeah, so
one game at a time, but
just
it's there for us, bro. It's there. There's a path back.
I think in order for us to sort of get over the hump, we have to either become that offense we had back in last season, which is bombs away type of situation, big play offense, and then with the mixture of this running game, or this new rendition of the team that we have with this power run scheme and ball control. But that's when the defense has to create turnovers and get sacks, right? Because I think we want to. I think I see the vision with Weaver, what he's doing, and Mike. They want to run the ball, blitz, and get sacks. A lot of blitzes were called on right plays and on right times. Players didn't make plays.
Right.
So for us to get bro,
Cater was missed.
It's funny you say that. I was thinking about that.
Cater would make those tackles on those blitzes.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. No,
yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
So wait, Junior, you're saying that Cater's a better athlete than Ramsey?
I was about to say that. No.
I don't think Ramsey's as athletic as he used to be. So I don't
there's that. But here's my thing. Cater is accustomed to blitzing and breaking down to make the play. You notice every time Ramsey is blitzing, he's just shooting it there. No breaking down, none of that. But Cater has done that too many times, and has still. Nah, you're not. We got tape.
We got tape.
Didn't Cater sack Josh Allen?
He sure did. That big, yes. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. You remember that one?
But look. Let's say,
but those little guys are slippery, bro.
Let's say yes. Let's say
pause.
Yes. Pause. Yeah, that's crazy. That is insane. But let's say yes. All right. Let's say we have those guys. We have to start creating game-changing defensive plays. We got to get them off their time. We got to get them off schedule.
But where's it going to come from, Wally?
It has to come. It has to come from Chubb. It has to come from Campbell.
Calais Campbell.
Chubb is not here. Chubb is not here.
I mean Chop. I meant Chop. It has to come from Chop. Chop has to make plays. Chop has been there. He just can't tackle.
He's been close. He's getting close. He's getting there. He's right there.
And look, you can say what you want, but Sealer was greatly missed.
Yeah, he was missed as well.
God.
We were like, oh man, we're stopping the run, but then those players got tired.
Right. I think the run defense was good.
Benito, y'all saw Benito?
Yeah. Benito and John and Han, they did their thing. But the pass rush was not good.
It was terrible. It was
terrible.
I was watching the game. I was like, how long? Well, I'm not gonna really repeat what I was gonna say, but what I actually said. But
wow,
how long are they gonna give this guy? To sit back there and check check his nails, see when Call of Duty is gonna come out or whatever.
Just get up as long as the Yankees is losing 2-0.
Hey,
I'm about to kick this guy out of the chat. Let me kick him out of the chat.
Wow. Oh man, yeah, man. So
But listen, let's pivot on this, bro. Cause I don't want to hear no Yankee talk, but I'm a little hurt right now.
Thank you.
One of your sports teams is gonna lose 3 games in a row. So look forward to that. Could be the Yankees.
Great. So, Buffalo.
Beautiful moment. Yeah, we're beating Buffalo. We're beating Buffalo. Don't be like Mechanic.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Hold on.
Put one camera on Chav, man.
Listen, man. Listen. Hear me out, y'all. Kevin Harlan is calling the game. He's got Hill. You're gonna hear it on the 1s and 2s. Kevin Harlan. We got Mike McDaniel committing to the run game. In Buffalo, Achan's cooking. The last time Achan had a great game against Buffalo, we saw what can be done there. We know what can be done there. I get it. It's Josh Allen, the big bad Buffalo Bills. They came into Miami and they punched you in the mouth. And they've been doing it year in and year out. And the team's already right now, it looks like we're teetering. The season could be over. Nobody really knows. But this is why I believe we can get it done. It's just that I think the Bills will, I don't want to say sleep on us, but I think they will give us the opportunities to catch them slipping. And I believe Miami can catch them slipping. Coming into Buffalo, nobody's going to expect it. The whole world is going to be betting it with Buffalo. Nobody's going to think that the Miami Dolphins could pull this game off. And we typically like to do the opposite. Like, this is a game where a lot of these games we've been thinking we're going to win and we end up losing. This is a game where the Dolphins come out and everybody's like, why did we win this game? How? You know what I mean? It's going to happen. I'm telling you guys. It's lining up. It's shaping up. The defense, they played well against Josh Allen the first time around. We didn't do well on offense. The offense is now picked up back where I think we're coming off our best offensive performance of the season going into Buffalo in a loss. Yes, we lost, but the offense was cooking. If you could commit to Jalen Wright and get this running game going, like I think you can with the Jonnu Smith's, he's been a savior for us as the third option in the passing game. You get him cooking, and I think Jalen Waddle is going to be itching to make up for last game. I think he's going to have a big game against Buffalo. I think Tyreek Hill's itching to have a big game against Buffalo. There's this narrative that he can't perform against them since he's been in Miami. He hasn't really had a good game against them. It's shaping up for us to go into Buffalo and shock the fucking world. I'm telling you guys. I sound crazy now. Sunday, visionary. We out. That's where I'm
at. Listen, man.
Wally, before you say anything, there's something that I need to play, before we move forward with your comments. This was actually an exclusive on our podcast. If you download the podcast and listen, you'll hear the rest of the conversation, but I think this is appropriate to drop right now.
Hey, to the peoples out here, man, to the fans listening to this, man, this is at minute 28 and 53 seconds. We might edit this, so it might be at a different time, but it's going to be a close 28, 29 minutes. I'm the only one that stood 10 toes tall here and said we're going to beat the Bills, you heard? Don't let friends
all right,
come
I hope I'm wrong.
Don't let the rest of these imposters say anything. 10 toes out here by myself.
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm never afraid to admit when I'm wrong. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down here to what I'm saying. Until proven wrong, show me you can beat the Bills. That's it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
yes,
is there anything that we'd like to
add to that? No, I'm good. I got Coach. I appreciate you, big dog. I appreciate you. Hey, you see what I'm talking about?
Hey, listen, man. Listen.
It's the way.
This is the way. I'm gonna stand 10 toes to what I say. Show me, man. That's it. We've been beaten, battered. We've been getting bullied. Every time we have this optimism where we feel we have these feelings, and then we just look flat. I think it could be different. I think despite our odds and the injuries and all that stuff, we will find a way. But I can only go so far as to believe it's up to y'all. Y'all backs against the wall. Y'all can't lose a bunch of games from this point forward. Every key game, especially these hard games, are important to win. So again, just like I said in that podcast, I'm gonna say it again. Until proven wrong, show me, Bama. Show me,
I'm
man.
gonna tell you right now,
Come
cuz I
on,
ain't gonna
man.
say nothing to you. Them boys back against the wall, man. The whole season's about to start right now. You're gonna be out here celebrating them boys. That's what I'm saying, man.
Man,
Desperation.
let's go.
Desperation.
That's right.
I can't look. I'm not gonna say one thing or another. I will say that we're gonna find out a lot about this team on Sunday. A lot. We're gonna find out a lot about the coaching staff or confirmations one way or another. Confirmations one way or another about the players and how they feel because, like Chad said, we are literally with our backs against the wall.
Yo, I'm watching this week 2 Buffalo Dolphins game right now. So much opportunities we had.
Bro.
It's week 2. It was early. It was like essentially the preseason. If you can incorporate the good and what you did last week and put it into this Buffalo game at their crib, at they trap, take they shit. Excuse me, take it.
Watch your profanity.
Run they trap and take over their trap.
There you go.
Bro, it was there for us. And last week we saw there was some underneath things, some great concepts that Mike introduced. Like there were some great opportunities that we're able to take advantage of that I think will be there, and in which how Buffalo plays us. I think it'll be there for us. It's just you can't have the turnovers, you can't have the penalties, you can't go over there and do that and expect to come out with the win, because if you do that, it's going to probably end up a lot like the first one did.
Chad, that first
interception, on your A game.
That first interception, John was right there underneath. Could have just threw it to him, could have got the game. Take advantage of those. And then when they start slipping inside a little bit, because you're gaining so much ground and you're building so much possession, doing these short to intermediate routes, then you go for the long one and you keep running the ball. You had moments you had run the ball well. You ran the ball well at moments. Why not continue doing that? That's the stuff I'm talking about.
But we're a different team now. Go ahead, Wally. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. To me, it's they gotta stay within themselves, and I kid you not. It's gonna sound crazy. Y'all gonna just walk with me. Last year, Buffalo was spiraling. We were on a high. We're like, nah, we're gonna beat Buffalo. We're gonna beat Buffalo. We're gonna beat Buffalo. We were on a high, bro, and Buffalo was losing. And their fans said, bro, I don't know what y'all talking about. We're gonna start with the season and beat y'all boys, and then we're gonna beat dumb boys, and we're gonna beat dumb boys, and and then you know what they did? They beat us. But they were in a position of weakness because they were at the tips of the end of the season. So it's our turn, man. They stuck to their game plan. No matter what we did, they stuck to the game plan and they executed. I feel like sometimes when we play Buffalo, not sometimes, every time we play Buffalo, when anything goes wrong, like they fall into like that behavior that it leads to them committing dumb mistakes. Like they want to be perfect so bad that you play tense and you forget that you have to be relaxed in order to just do your job. And that's where the miss snaps, the fumbles, the false starts, the holding calls, the illegal men down the field. Like they gotta play just relax football and execute. And I think once they do that, bro, with what they learn and they've been through, bro, I think if you saw what I saw from Tua this game against the Cardinals is something that if he does against the Bills, there's gonna be a lot of upset Buffalo Bill fans because I know this sounds crazy, but if he learns how to slide, the way he climbs if he starts climbing the pocket, Tua doesn't really climb the pocket here in this team. That's not a thing he does. If Tua climbs the pocket here, the way Brewer has been blocking, that can become a weapon for him. Even just to dump it off to a running back, to a Janu, or just run for 3 yards and slide. It's 2nd and 7 instead of 2nd and 10. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of renditions to this team that if we get little wrinkles that we can take advantage. It's like death by 1,000 cuts, but that's how you beat Buffalo. You got to take.
I feel like our special teams is improved. Indirectly with losing Braxton Berrios, I think you actually got better.
Yes,
that you got more explosive with Malik Washington and D Eskridge, and I think that they'll be able to make plays. Last year in Buffalo, that second game, special team was huge. They had a huge punt return by Deontay Hardy that ended up being a pivotal play in the game. I think Malik and D Eskridge can present the same problems for Buffalo. And even if you just get a good return to put you in a short field, that's just additional opportunities for us to put more points on the board and to put more pressure on them, because we know that Josh, he's great and he's amazing at times, but he does have his moments and where he presses and it can get away from him. It can get away from him. He's not perfect in that, and he does. That's his one fault, that he will turn the ball over. You know what I mean? He hasn't done it a lot this year, but if you put the pressure on them, if you can go in there and put up 24, 27 plus points in Buffalo on the road, run the ball well, play solid defense, and you don't turn the ball over, you're going to give your shot a real shot to pull an upset. You got to play clean, got to play smart, you got to play disciplined. We've shown that we can contain Josh early in the season, although he didn't have to do much. So maybe that's a bit of a, we'll see if that can hold true in the second game, because the defense did put them in positions where they had short fields and Josh didn't have to really do much because James Cook was really cooking.
Bro, right. That's what I'm saying. We give them, bro. We give them the game, bro. It's like for no reason we just start giving them the game. Like, look, man, I've been watching Tua play football for a very, very long time. We've dissected his throws. We're Tua fans, bro. And when I tell you that I've never seen Tua make the mistakes that he made against Buffalo ever in his career as a football player, he's never done that. The pick sixes, the throws, everything he did, even the concussion, the way he, bro, I seen Tua play like a running back. I seen Tua get hit harder than that and come right back like nothing happened to him as a high schooler. So when I tell you that is not how you win games, stay to yourself. Like, stop giving them the game, bro. Like, if you play a clean game and it's 21-17 and you haven't turned the ball over and you're running the ball and you're putting pressure on them, and the defense, hey man, they're playing clean. That gets to them because they don't expect you to be that same team anymore. You got to show them that you're not going to give them the game. Bro, we giving them every game. The games we don't give them, we win. And that was the one game we had. We beat them in the turnover battle. So let's do that.
So on that kind of topic of giving him games and talking about Josh Allen or whatever, I recently saw on Twitter there was not a report but a tweet that he had the fourth highest turnover-worthy plays, obviously that were not going to, or I don't know if they were plays or throws, of every quarterback in the league. Fourth. But obviously I know his turnovers are down this year, but he's still making the mistakes. It's just that the other teams are not capitalizing on the mistakes.
Right.
So, no, go ahead. I was just going to say that, oddly enough, you know who was the number one quarterback on that list? Tyler Huntley.
And that's the thing, man. You can't, you have to limit the mistakes, the self-inflicting wounds in order to give yourself a chance against the Bills and take advantage of their mistakes. They're gonna be flat-footed in games. There's gonna be moments where there's a little overthrow, there's miscommunication, there's this and that. Opportunities like that, you gotta intercept the ball, force an incompletion, and then on offense, you got to score. You got to get some points. You got to get the sustaining drives to keep the momentum going, the favor in your side. So those are the things. It sounds crazy. There's no perfect in anything, but you got to play a perfect game. Minimum mistakes. Take advantage of their mistakes and their ineffectiveness in certain games, and that's how I think you can win.
But Chad.
Yeah. So last week, going back to that Seahawks Bills game, they got down in the red zone and to within the 5 yard line 3 times and came away with 3 points. You had they were 1 for 7 on third down, right? They had 11 penalties for 82 yards. They had 1 fumble loss, an interception, and they lost the time of possession by 17 minutes.
Oof.
You're not gonna beat them like that. You don't win like that. If we play like that, or there's penalties. You're not executing on first and second down to put yourself in favorable positions on third down to get, keep extending drives. You know what I mean? You're putting that pressure on them because when you're extending those drives, the time of possession will be there, running the football and doing all the things we talked about. You know what I mean? So, like the penalties, the turnovers, not having the running game going, like they couldn't get Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet going last week, and like, bro, like, I mean, Kenneth tried to make some plays here and there, but he couldn't do much. We got to win the battle in the trenches. It's not gonna be easy to do. They're very formidable defensive line. I think on the offensive side, on the flip side, we don't necessarily have the horses to take advantage, but I do think there'll be some opportunities off the edge with the DBs and with David Long and Jordan Brooks. I saw that they were drawing up some stuff for them. I think that could be advantageous against Buffalo. So, I mean, like, it's there, bro. It's there, but like I saw a lot of the opportunities that Seattle had that didn't take advantage of, and they just kind of touching back on what we were talking about, like giving them games, and you know what I mean. Like, you're playing like that, you're not gonna beat the Bills. You're not gonna beat any good team like that unless they just shit the bed.
Look, I'm gonna say like this: like, you gotta respect the Buffalo Bills because they own the division or whatnot, but they don't beat good teams. They're taking advantage of playing. Like, I'm looking at their schedule, and the good teams they play is good games, and then they pick on teams that, like us, they spanked us up. They spanked up they spanked up the Seahawks. DK Metcalf wasn't playing. Walker was kind of hurt. They did it with other little things, and they get blessed with that. They're not world beaters, bro. They're not unbeatable. We just gotta stick to our keys and our game plan, and we'll be all right, bro. We just can't give them the game. If we give them the game, we don't stand a chance. If we start, all right, pass interference, offsides, roughing the passer, drive killers. Like, when you do a drive, when you get them on third down and then you stop them, and then you have a roughing the passer by overzealous player that, you know what I mean? That's not what we
Or
need.
us, so somebody rips off an 18-yard run and holding on XYZ.
Exactly, bro. I want to have a clean game. I don't want a perfect game, a clean game. You have a clean football game, you higher your chances of winning the game. Because in sports, just a coach knows it's always gonna go bad. It's never gonna be perfect. You always have the control of fixing when it goes bad. If you have a pitching error, if you walk somebody, you can always strike the next guy out. You could get the next guy out. If you give up a first down, don't give up another first down. If you get beat on a 5 and out, don't get beat. Learn what you There's so many ways, bro. We have to figure it out, man.
Can I say one more thing? This is gonna be Tua's first away game this season, so it's imperative how we approached it with Huntley, getting into the line, giving yourself time, cadences, different approaches to making sure you're not getting the false starts, you're not no pre-snap penalties, all that good stuff. Approach it that way as well heading to this game because it's going to get loud and it's going to probably you're going to have some issues with communications. So let's make sure we have we have a good approach to this game.
Man, listen, scare money don't make the money. I will say some nasty stuff right now, but we're gonna keep it PG, man. Dolphins for the win. Buffalo ain't got no buffaloes. They ain't really you know what I'm saying? They ain't no chicken wings. So y'all lying over here. So whatever y'all about is fake. We about to expose y'all. And with that being said, give me my commercial, coach. Never forget when I stood 10 toes down out here, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna beat the Bills. Yes, sir.
Show me, Bama.
You just, you know what I'm saying? You don't believe, you don't see the vision, you know what I'm saying? Chad's a visionary, he sees it. Chad, they're gonna call you a visionary again. I see
We
it.
bike.
Listen, man, thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you to all the fans. Thank you to all the haters. We love y'all. We do this for you. This season ain't over yet. I don't want to say all this negativity on the timeline where everybody wants to jump off buildings. Sunday's the time, baby. I don't want to see anybody jump on the bandwagon where we good again. Because I will call you out.
Show me.
Have fun outside, y'all boys.
Show me. Dolphins, show me.